Hello and welcome to Monday's live at the Income Lab, at Mom's Income Lab, rather. I am glad that everybody's here, and I wanted to cover a couple of items before we got started today, and hopefully give folks additional time to get onto the call. So the first thing I wanted to cover is a thank you to all the new members who have joined, and I've got a contest coming up. So I really want to grow the group, and I want to bring in as many people as who would be interested in, who really was wanting to start a business, find that perfect job. So we've got a good group of people in now, and what I wanted to do is have a contest. So if you invite 5 people, I'll say 3 to 5. 3 to 5 people who you know are wanting to start a business, who you know are ready to take action and ready to really move on. If you invite 3 to 5 of those moms to the group, you'll be eligible for a $20 Amazon gift certificate. So I'm kind of running this little contest, and I'll run it over the next week. So between today and next Monday's live call, whoever invites 3 to 5 moms who are really ready to go. I mean, I'm talking about, they're ready to take action, because sometimes we know that we need to do something, but we're not quite ready. We're not quite ready to commit. So we want moms here who are ready to do their thing, who are ready to do their homework, who are really wanting to move on to that next step. So if you invite 3 to 5 of those people, I will tally up all the results and make sure that when they get the entry questions, that they put your name in so that I can keep track of who invited whom. So if you can, I'll tally those up, I guess by 9 o'clock next Monday morning. And whoever invited 3 to 5 people, and I'll do the drawing among those people. So that's some incentive for you. The next thing is, I just want to let you know, if you are really ready to go in Mom's Income Lab, we're going to be going kind of incremental each week, kind of working on some things. But if you're really ready to go and you really want to do kind of a one-on-one, let's do this, you're ready to invest in yourself and really get things kicked off so that you can move on to the next level, private message me. I do work with moms individually, one-on-one, to help them to coach them and help them to move on to the next step. So this is, again, if you are ready to go, you're ready to commit, you're ready to be accountable every single week, because we're going to get on that phone every single week, and we're going to talk about what you need to do in the upcoming week. And you're going to be accountable. And, really it helps you to move on, helps you to move. As I mentioned last week, I have a coach myself. So sometimes we just need help moving to move the ball down the court. So I do offer that. So PM me if you are interested in kind of working with me one-on-one. You're ready to get started. You're ready to make an investment in yourself and your family to move on to the next level. And the last thing I want to tell you is I was going to do a live with Amanda Abuelita today, but what we're going to do instead is I'm going to do an interview with her later this week, and then I'm going to post it. So it won't be live, but I'm going to record it. I'm going to post it later. And so you make sure you want to come back so that you can see the interview with Amanda, because she's a mom who I met her through Her Kids Act, My Kids Act. And she's one of the momagers who's managing her kids' acting career. And she has done an amazing amount of work that she does from home. And she found that she was having to do so much stuff for her kids in the entertainment industry that she has opened up with a partner, a PR firm. And I think that her story is amazing. Amanda is amazing, and I can't wait. She said so much energy, so I can't wait to bring her to you later this week. So we are getting our schedules in order, and so I should bring that to you later this week. So make sure you are tuning in. So now that we've covered all of the preliminaries, let's talk about what we came here to talk about this week. So 2 things. First off, we had homework from last week where you were writing down what the things that you are qualified to do. And then you were writing down the things that you love to do, the things that you have a passion for. And so we were going to go over that today. So if anyone's on and you want to put in the chat some of the things that, so we can sit here and talk about it right now. We'll talk about it live, real time. So so you can go ahead and start that while I kind of go along. So I see that Joyce is on, Kelly's on. So hi, ladies. So anyway, just let me know if you've got your skills versus your what I really like to do done, and if you want to talk about it real live or real time here, just put it in the chat and then we'll go over it. So one of the things that, just to share a personal story, when I was growing up, I was always taught, you go to school, you get a job, and you get that job and you keep it forever. And it's just not the reality. It's just not the reality anymore. And, I have parents and aunts and uncles that worked at the same place for 35 years. They retired. And, that kind of life, they've got a pension. That kind of life is it just doesn't exist anymore. And so one of the things that, as women, we are out here, we're in the workforce, we're taking care of our kids, we're doing so much more than a lot of our moms had to do when they were growing up. For me, my mother was a teacher, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and then she was a teacher, and she went to school at nights to get her degrees. But once she began teaching, she was a teacher, and a lot of the women in my world had those kind of jobs. Well, by the time I grew up and got a job, it was totally different. I was in the corporate world and I was working, so many hours, and my kids were in childcare for hours and hours a day. And for me, that just wasn't a sustainable life. And so, something had to change. And so you hear people say, you do something you love and it's not like work. Well, that just wasn't a reality when I was growing up. And it never really made sense to me how you could do something that you love and still be able to make a living. And, but that's all changed now. And so one of the things that I want to help you guys to do is kind of reach that, to find that thing that you really are passionate about and pursuing it, whether you currently have a job and you want to start a side hustle, or whether you have a job that you hate and you need to find a job that offers you more balance, that offers you more ability to spend time with your family, or whether you really just want to start your own business. It's, nowadays it's all about finding your passion. And so that's what this group is all about. Finding that passion and turning it into an income for our families. So that's kind of, I just want to kind of leave you with kind of almost give you permission, because someone had to give me permission to embrace that way of thinking, because it's a totally different mindset from when I grew up. It was just totally different mindset from the way I was raised. And so it's kind of like, so I'm giving you that permission, whether you need it or not. I'm giving you that permission to kind of create your own destiny, because it's you can do that now. And there's so many different ways you can do it. And, really the first thing is to really gain clarity on what it is we want to do. And often it takes us a while. We need help kind of gaining that moment of clarity. And so that's kind of one of the things that I want this group to do to help people with. And that's one of the things that I do when I work one-on-one with people. So just, if you want to send me a PM and kind of talk about what you want to do, if you don't want to put it out on the chat, because I know some people are really private and they don't want to put stuff out on the chat. So that's fine. But if you really want to delve into that moment of clarity. So at this point in our group, we are really focusing on finding that clarity. So moving on next week, we're going to talk about, okay, now that we have this clarity, what are we going to do with it? So, so I'll be putting in the homework thread. I'll be posting in the homework thread kind of what are we going to do? What is the next step? What are we going to do now that we have a moment of clarity? So in the next week, go ahead and send me your PMs. If you couldn't make the live call, I know a lot of people sent me messages saying they just can't make the live call at 12, and I actually may end up changing the time. So if there are times that are better, actually I'll put out a poll and see what is a better time to make sure that I'm able to reach the most people at the best time. Yes, because I got a lot of messages saying that they just couldn't make 12 noon. So so anyway, so that's kind of where I am. So we're trying to find that moment of clarity so that you can move past it and move on, and giving you permission to do that thing that you're passionate about and find a way to make an income with it. And I'll just give you an example. So so say, for example, you're really passionate. Here's a good example. I have a relative who has an expertise in doing chemical stuff. And so if his wife is on here, he'll know who I'm talking about. But he has an expertise in doing chemical stuff. And, you know, he might not want to do the chemical stuff anymore, but he can consult doing the chemical stuff. And so basically he needs help setting up his consultancy. He needs help figuring out how to market it. He needs help figuring out how to scale it, because at the end of the day, you don't want your business to be all about you. And so actually that's one tip I'll give you as you're thinking about your homework for next week, when we're trying to find that moment of clarity. When you're thinking about your business, think about your business couched in the terms of, if something happened to you tomorrow, if you get sick tomorrow, how would this business be able to scale without you? And so that is going to be one of the biggest things that, we don't really think about that when we're head down in our business. We're doing all the work, we're doing everything. We've got to remember that when we're putting our business together, we've got to think about, this business needs to be able to run if I don't show up today or tomorrow or even all next week. And so while you may end up doing all the work or most of the work to begin with, we've got to always keep in mind that we are scaling a business, we're working on a business, we're creating a business that does not require our constant presence. So, anyway, so I don't want to just keep rambling on. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. If not, I'll just wrap this up real quick. This week's homework was, we were going to get together, we're going to talk about real time. If anyone wanted to talk about it, if they want to post their stuff in the chat, we were going to talk about all the stuff that we're qualified to do. Then we were going to talk about all the stuff that we love, and we're going to put it together, and we're going to talk about it. So we don't have a lot of engagement today. Thanks, Kelly. We don't have a whole lot right now. So think about that. Next week, we're going to talk about, okay, hopefully you've already done those two things. And now next week, we're going to talk about developing our moment of clarity. If you want to talk about the things you've come up with offline, PM me, and we can go back and forth during the week, so you'll be ready for next week, because next week we're going to be all about moment of clarity. But while you're developing that moment of clarity, just remember, we've got to put together a business idea. We've got to put together a business that does not require our constant presence. It can't always require us to be there. And so as we're developing our moment of clarity and the things that we want to do, keep that in mind. So we'll talk more about that next week. For those of you who joined late, look later this week, I'm going to be posting an interview with a mom who created a PR business. She's got a lot of energy. I think you'll really enjoy listening to her. And I'm running a contest. If you bring in 3 to 5 of your friends who are really, really wanting to be those entrepreneurs, wanting to, really look for that perfect job, who are really ready to do some work to move on to that next level, if you invite 3 to 5 people by next Monday morning at 9 o'clock, I'll be giving away a $20 Amazon gift card. I'll do a drawing of the people who brought in 3 to 5 friends, and make sure that they let me know you brought them in. And I'll be doing a drawing for the people who did that for the $20 gift card. So have a great week. I'll be posting stuff throughout the week, and we'll see you next Monday.